Nerd Talks.
Welcome back to Nerd Talks, and today we are talking about C2E2. It's going to be our recap of what had happened, what we saw. This was my first C2E2. I'm here with Logan. This was also your first C2E2?
My first one.
We're just going to go over the expectations, what happened, what we saw, who we ran into as far as celebrities, and, is it really worth it to actually go? So C2E2 is, Chicago Comic and Entertainment Expo, which essentially just ends up being Midwest or Chicago Comic-Con. It is run by the same people who do all the PAX. They also do the New York Comic-Con. So it's all one company. Also, Emerald City Comic-Con is another big one that's in Seattle. It's just Comic-Con. They just had a fancy name for it, or they bought it after they had the name for it. And that's kind of basically what it was. But we can dive into exactly what we saw. So what about your pre-con expectations? What were you thinking about it when we started first talking about it?
One, I did not want to stay in any of the hotels connected to the convention center. For anyone who doesn't know, walls are thin, parking is terrible, and especially if you're doing a convention in Chicago, just know that parking is going to be god-awful, so know where you're going to park. And then
Fair.
Two, it is kind of nice if you're just within walking distance of the convention, or if you're even a little further away, because my backup plan was we would just do Ubers to get to the convention center. So just kind of know where you're going to park. Another thing is I always like taking a day before the convention and then taking a day after the convention off. Before to get acclimated to the area so you know where everything is. And they usually let you in the building on the day before for all the people who have will call badges.
Which I did.
Oh, yeah. And then there's the day after for when you're finally done with the convention, you have a day to relax so you're not just going back to work right away.
Which I did not take the day off, and I did go back to work right away.
Yeah.
And it was rough.
Oh, I could imagine. Yeah, I was having a gay old time just sitting in the house, enjoying my day back and kind of decompressing a bit. But yeah, tons of fun. Kind of new going in, budget well. So make sure that you kind of have an idea of how much you're planning to spend. Make sure you bring comfortable shoes.
Yeah.
I saw a guy who I think was cosplaying for the first time in like 5-inch heels, and he was literally like breaking down as he was walking through. So just wear comfortable walking shoes. Try to fit that into your cosplay if you cosplay. And then the one last thing I would say is I did attempt to cosplay this year. Sadly, I ordered my costume on like the fringes of it could possibly be delivered before the convention, and I didn't get it in time. So if you are going to do costuming in any way, shape, or form, plan months in advance. Make sure that you have everything together. Otherwise, you're going to get screwed like me.
Yeah. I wasn't sure, I guess, what to expect necessarily. I did assume that it was going to be like any Comic-Con that I had seen in media, and my best reference is Ted 2 when they go to New York Comic-Con.
Oh.
And there's a few scenes there, so that's kind of like what I had in mind. And some parts were similar, I guess, just like how people were kind of like walking around being in costume, a lot of cosplayers. Did a lot of research on the people who were going to be there, both the celebrities and the comic artists, so I looked into that a lot. Being in walking distance was really nice. That you could just walk to. I think one day I went there and then came back and then went back because it wasn't that far. Not that I had to Uber or drive even there and back.
So, I will say this about the researching beforehand. I went on the website and it lists everyone who is going to show up that you can get a picture. And boy, does that list change. Like, it was just constantly people were being added. Like, one day, I think you even posted, it's like Elizabeth Olsen's coming. And it's like, what? Like, I was originally going for Christopher Eccleston because that was, at the time, I knew he was going. And then I was maybe going to go see some of, like, the other Marvel stars that they had there. But it was originally just Christopher Eccleston. Then Elizabeth Olsen's going. And then the spouse is just like, well, we got to go see her. So keep an eye on the website. Changes constantly.
Oh, yeah.
That was a huge surprise. I didn't realize how much that changed, like, literally the week before.
Yeah, it was always changing. And then there'd be people who cancel, and they would cancel like the week of, and people even were like going to show up like, I think Mike Coulter was officially announced to be there like maybe just over 2 weeks, about 2 weeks before the event started. And then, I mean, I got super excited because I like Mike Coulter in a couple of his projects that he worked on. But generally, I was just like, it was just like constantly people like constantly coming in. I was constantly updating everyone like who was going to be there. And there was other people that I seen too that I just never even said that were going to be there just because it wasn't that important. But there's a lot of comic artists that like were coming and going. So there was just a lot to keep track of. At least if you care about that kind of stuff. If you're going just for the con, then like you don't have to really, worry about that stuff too much. You're probably more worried about like your cosplay. I've seen a lot of people like on the official C2E2 just like posting what they were going to be wearing and stuff like that. So I think there was a lot of people preparing for that more than maybe looking at the celebrities.
Ooh, also bring a mixture of cash.
Yeah.
Everything had fees.
Yeah.
It was like everywhere had fees. I mean, not everywhere accepts cash, like the Starbucks.
Yeah,
and
there
the
was
convention
some
center.
places that didn't take cash at all.
Yeah, the delis at the actual convention center too, none of those accepted cash, but like a lot of the artist alley or vendor people will accept cash. And then it's a little cheaper if you're paying with cash, so that part is kind of nice.
All right, so let's talk about the con here itself in general, I guess. Again. So the times, so you can get there on Thursday in order to pick up. You have to get there before 5 o'clock, which I did not because of Chicago traffic. I'm not going to go into that whole thing, but you're not good. You want to know what? You're not even not good. You're actually just bad. Traffic is terrible in Chicago, mostly because they don't know how to drive. It is around it. A crash on the corner by our hotel is all I will say.
I didn't even know that happened until literally, I think, like Saturday evening when
They were towing it away.
Yeah,
Finally.
when they were finally towing it away.
3 hours after it actually happened. They towed
Yeah,
it away.
all of a sudden I just saw all the lights and I'm just like looking out the window and I'm like, oh yeah, shoot, there's like a car literally right there.
Yeah, that had to happen at like 5:30, 6 o'clock when we were walking back. Or it'd been earlier than that, 4:30 or something. Duh. All right, so yeah, so if you can pick it up on Thursday, and then Friday was the first day, so you can get in. I don't even know what time you can get in. I assume really early, 5 or 6 o'clock in the morning. I got there about 6:15, waited in line till 8 o'clock, where I could go to will call, and then waited from 8 to 10 when they actually opened. The line wasn't bad for me because I got there so early, but I assume some people behind it wasn't the greatest. But once it was open, it was just open. There was no line ever to get in, right? I mean, the whole weekend.
Yeah. When we came, we never had a line. It was just a lot of walking because if you go through it, you have to go through security, which is just this giant, huge letter U that you have to walk around.
It's like, 400 or 500 feet one way in the back.
And you got the 3-day patches?
I did get, so you can get, single day, either Friday, Saturday, Sunday. They had VIP editions, but then the 3-day pass, I think was generally probably the most popular was the 3-day pass. Okay. Yeah, just had the standard 3-day. You got the standard 3-day?
Yeah, I did too. I was keeping an eye out to see like all the VIP benefits and if they really were worth it. I decided no. Like the only biggest thing you really get is you do get priority through autographs, which I guess is
Could you autographs was probably fine. Through pictures, it didn't seem like it was a big deal.
right. I don't know. I got through pictures, like our scheduled first time for pictures was like, I think like 1 something. And I arrived 30 minutes early and I was out of the photo shoot 10 minutes before my scheduled picture time.
Yep, that happened to us twice.
So yeah, I was worried because my pictures were 2 hours apart and I was a little afraid that I wouldn't have enough time to get through. But yeah, you go through pictures fast.
We had one a half an hour apart.
Yeah, I thought that was wild that you picked that time slot.
Those are the only time slots I had for them.
Oh, okay.
But it was fine. We made it through. We had a stroller too, so they ended up giving us like the pass, and we actually got to come in at the end of the super fan, like the VIP. So we got to enter the VIP line. We just had to be at the end of that line.
Oh, that's nice.
Yeah, it wasn't too bad. It was kind of cool. But the crowds on Friday weren't too bad. So let's talk about the crowd size here. So the crowd size on Friday wasn't too bad. Initially, when I got in, there was probably 2,000 to 3,000 people standing behind me in line from that 8 to 10 period. But otherwise, on the inside of the con, it wasn't too bad. I got through most lines that I wanted to get into pretty quickly.
Yeah, well, Friday was the perfect day to scope out the convention.
Yes.
Like, just get familiar with the areas, know where everything is, explore all the merchant stuff. You can do that all on Friday. Mostly your pictures and autographs seem to be centered on Saturday, or people buy one-day patches, because Saturday was nuts. And I didn't go on Sunday. So I think you guys did, right?
So I went on a little bit on Sunday. Yeah, Saturday was crazy. It's actually kind of overwhelming to a point if we kind of like stayed in the really busy areas. But Sunday, I only went for a little bit near closing. I didn't really go during the biggest chunk of the day, but I assume it's pretty wound down at that point. I think other people like ourselves are doing other things in Chicago or getting ready to leave on an airplane, you know. But in general, it seemed pretty clear. I did go inside and like into the actual hall. I just had to pick up a couple of graded products that I got, but in general, it was probably similar to Friday. Maybe even a little bit less, actually, just because I was probably there 2 hours before they were shutting it down. So it was too bad.
It is a people watcher's dream at the convention.
Oh, yeah.
Because there's just so many places where you can kind of camp out. If you want to get out of the way, if they keep it at the same place, they have these pylons that have restaurants on the second floor.
Love those.
Perfect spot to just sit and watch people from afar where you're not in their way, but you can see everything that's going on.
Yeah, and they had 2 of those. The layout I found was pretty nice because you walk in right away is CGC, which is a grading company. So you drop off your products to get them graded, either the same weekend that you're there. I dropped stuff off on Friday. I got it back on Sunday. But then like most of the, I don't want to say official companies because that's not the right word.
Okay.
What is the words I'm looking for? Like more of the like well-known businesses, you know, let's say like almost like corporate businesses, all kind of were right in the front.
Yeah.
And they even had things like what was it, C4 and like 5-Hour Energy. Almost every cell phone carrier was there, which was weird.
And the 5-Hour Energy people were giving you free 5-Hour Energy
for free.
And I thought that was surprised. At first I was like, why are you guys even here? And then they approached us and they're like, do you want some? And I'm like, oh no, I'm good. But yeah, it's free.
Yeah. No, I'm fixing. Definitely need.
Oh yeah, I could see why we were trying to do the slow and steady strategy of just snaking our way through, which
yeah. So on Friday I was very scheduled with every person, as far as like the comic book artists going to their tables and like making sure I knew when everyone was going to be there. So I had to time out everything very, very perfectly. Go get a beer, then go stand in this line and wait for the person to come, and then go over here and make sure I purchase this while they're open, and then go over here and get this signed. Then I had to go over by CGC and wait, and then go back over to a different place. Kind of a lot of back and forth, but I found I think I have a really good sense of direction in a way around. So I figured out the layout very quickly and kind of how everything was divided. So I was able to find it on my way around. I don't know how you felt, if it was very kind of just...
That's why we did not plan too much for this because this was our first time going to C2E2, we didn't want to plan too much. So we tried to get everything scheduled that we wanted to do on Saturday. So it wouldn't have been the first day. And Friday was literally just us
walking.
figuring out like where the heck all the panel rooms are, where the main stage is, where's the line to get on the main stage, where all the merchants are, and to scope up product that we wanted. Yeah, it's massive, huge.
It is huge. It is huge. They crossed 100,000 people this year. I
can believe that.
That walks through the door. And I don't know if they're counting children who don't get passes or not, which is 5 and under.
I thought that was really cool, actually. Don't have any kids myself, but for parents who are also nerds who can bring their kids in there so that they can see the things and get pictures taken with people in fun cosplay. Like, I thought that was actually kind of cool, the convention to do.
We can talk about some of the stuff we picked up. So, like I said, I got there super early on Friday so that I could pick up the C2E2 exclusive comic, which was Daredevil #1, which released just a few days after the con had officially opened. I got it signed by both the artist and the writer. It was kind of a big deal. It was a crazy line. It was probably one of the longest lines I waited in, I probably waited an hour.
At the merch store booth?
No.
Oh, at the writer. Okay.
At the writer.
I was like, I got through the merch store booth pretty fast.
The people on merch, they were on it.
They knew what they were doing because
come over here. What do you want?
And there were like 20 of them out there. They all had yellow fans that they were clamping.
No, I ran to that right away. That was the first place I went because there's only 1,000 of these in existence. So, between the two of us, we have 8 of them out of 1,000. So,
nice.
Kind of cool. But yeah, I wanted to make sure I got those because I wasn't sure how in demand they were going to be. And I also didn't know if there was a limit. Could someone just come up that owned like a big store, like a big secondhand comic book store?
I'll buy 300.
Yeah, and just knock out a bunch. But yeah, very cool. So I got some stuff signed. So I got that. I got Rose Besh signed a bunch of my comics. I probably got 4 or 5 comics signed by Rose Besh. She's a pretty big modern artist currently. She did this rendition of Spider-Man from the Amazing Spider-Man series that is currently out. Is it currently running? I think it's currently running. But yeah, so beautiful. Yeah, I really enjoy her art. Like I said, she's a really big artist. A lot of people really enjoy her art. Another really big artist who actually had a panel just to themselves, which to me just signifies that they are kind of a big deal. Is Jenny Frisian, same writer as the Daredevil, but the artist on the cover here is the Jenny Frisian. I talked about the art before. I could do that again. And then I did, as I said, I got some grading done. So the way grading works usually is you take a comic and you send it in, and it gets put in one of these fancy capsules that are basically unopenable. You can't open this unless you destroy the plastic itself, obviously, to access said comic. So there's no way for you to access it. And they graded out of 10. 10 is nearly impossible to get. 9.9 is usually the most common mint or pristine as far as comics go. Also nearly impossible to get. And 9.8 is basically the highest any could reasonably get without getting it basically directly out of the box. And even that's hard because sometimes they'll, like a 9.8 signifies that it is in perfect condition other than maybe
like a dent or something.
Well, a dent would ding probably severely.
Oh,
but 9.8 is like this edge is kind of maybe a little rough because they pulled it out of the box and it got all rough. Okay. So 9.8 is.
Sounds like they look good.
Yeah, they're. If you look at them, it's nearly,
That's my favorite of the one you got.
Yeah, and Rose Besh, this is Rose Besh again, and I really enjoy her art. So I was happy that she was going to be there and sign a bunch of stuff. And then also Daredevil 1 is a big deal. Unfortunately, the artist, so I kind of wanted to get it triple signed. For the cover artist, the interior artist, and then the writer were all there. But unfortunately, the writer and the interior artist were not there at the time that I got this done.
Oh.
And I also wanted to get it, graded. So you had to wait for someone to come over to the table to witness that it was signed in order to get it graded. If you wanted it graded while signed.
I like how industrious you were on Friday. I was just wandering around shopping and looking at people's cosplay for Friday. And then the only time I think it was the first time we caught up to you. It was like almost like 4 or 5 in the afternoon.
Yeah.
And you're just like, I need to use the bathroom. Can you hold this really quick? And I'm like, yes. And I'm like, which by the way, the bathrooms, even for the men's, like I didn't see too many bathrooms. Like they were all really busy.
Yeah, the bathrooms were an interesting thing.
Yeah.
It wasn't terrible, but there was, okay, so those big pylons where the restaurants were, there was bathrooms below that. I didn't know.
Oh, I didn't know that either.
Yeah, there was a
I
set of
always
stairs.
wondered where those stairs went, and I didn't want to get yelled at.
Yeah,
for
I didn't know there. And so like, I don't know, 3 or 4 o'clock on Saturday. So I've already been in this place for over 12 hours, or more than that. And I just had found those.
Saturday was too crazy for me. I didn't want to go further exploring. I knew what I wanted. Pick Friday to pick out what you want to buy.
Yeah.
And then buy it either on Saturday or Sunday. If you go on Sunday, especially if it's Artist Alley, I always hear, like, for other conventions I've been to, it's kind of the day where you can haggle on the price a little bit if you want to get stuff for...
Well, kind of any, not even just, I mean, the big corporate, businesses, I'm trying to think of a word to say that's not, I don't want to say official business because they're all official businesses, but a lot of them are, smart, small,
established.
Yeah, well, there was a lot of small business like vendors versus like the more like corporate individuals that were there. But yeah, you also had stuff.
Yes, I did.
That,
I went into the official C2E2 line. I got a beanie, which was super great because it was cold while we were there. So I wanted a hat. I got the official C2E2 fabric tote, which has the Chicago style hot dog, which is the symbol of C2E2. And then you can see it in the mustard, which I was really excited for because I got this on Saturday. And I knew I was going to be there like forever on Saturday because we had all of our like photo ops and autographs, and I wanted something that I could hold the stuff I was buying and not have it be a huge strain. And then I also got like a ton of comic books. I won't go through all of them, but I also got the Daredevil, and then you got me this really cool Scarlet Witch one. But for those of you like me who are kind of getting into comic books, it's a great place to like pick out different comic books. I got the House of M and the Ultimate X-Men. So I was really excited. I also got the flannel shirt. It has C2E2, and then there's like a bunch of cool graphics on the back.
I love that. Sure.
Originally, always pay attention to what they give you because I asked for a medium, and then I was happy I got it, went home, and then realized they gave me a large, so I'm just like, well, you can have it if you want. And then I went back and got myself a medium. And then I also got this Doctor Who t-shirt, which I was really excited for because you can't really find Doctor Who t-shirts except for, online. But it was really cool to actually be there.
To see stuff in person is always better.
Yeah.
Before we move on, what's your like number one pickup from C2E2? Like the best thing you bought? Favorite thing.
I really, really want... Oh, my number one pickup? Can it be an autograph? Because technically I paid for that. Sure. We got a Magic the Gathering curse card signed by Elizabeth Olsen.
Yes.
I was very excited. I'm hoping for the Universes Beyond sets that come out this year. There's going to be a Scarlet Witch, and hopefully she has a red pip so that I can use Maddening Hex. But even she, when she was signing it, she was reading it, Maddening Hex, curse, and she was laughing, and she had a whole conversation about it, and it was really cool. Photo op, I didn't really get to you don't get to talk to them as much. It's pretty quick. But in the autograph, because they're physically signing, I got so much more time with actually being able to see the person and engage with them. So that would have been my favorite. What about you?
Oh boy. I asked you, and I was like slightly prepared to answer, but I don't even know.
I have an idea for one. I loved all the pictures that you got of you and your family with all the defenders.
Oh yeah, that was yeah. I wouldn't say that's a merch pickup.
Yeah,
but I did like that a lot. I guess maybe the Rose Bash Daredevil. That's pretty sick. And I got the 9.8. I was really excited to get those in like what is basically perfect condition. Nothing lower than that. So maybe that. I guess I would have to go through. I did get my first Invincible comic from the original Invincible run. So I was pretty excited about that. I haven't really paid that much attention to Invincible. I don't even know that much about Invincible, but I'm very possibly trying to collect every issue from the original run, which is probably insane to do because some of those issues go for like $200, $300, $400, $500.
It's very grim. It's kind of like The Boys almost, but it's actually really good.
More like comic-y though in a way.
Oh, yeah.
It seemed like The Boys to me seemed like very like dark and kind of like ultra real. And like their attempt at real. Obviously it's not real, but they're basing more on like real world stuff. Whereas Invincible seemed, I think, more what I would like as far as like the very grim stuff, because it was very still like aliens and outer space and like and like people have different sets of powers, and it's not just like the super real world where it's dark and grim. It's more like comic-y dark and grim.
I like that they retain everyone's origin story. So like everyone has an origin story of how they became a superhero in Invincible, where you don't have that with other things. It definitely cultivates the world very much, very similar to like Superman or stuff like that.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, I'll definitely say that. Yeah, and the comic you picked up, I would get that. That's beautiful. Yeah.
The Daredevil?
Yeah.
Yeah, that I love that comic. That's what's in the mail. Pointed out I had mail.
Okay.
I have just a regular version of that. That's what's in the mail. Yeah. Let's talk on the artists, the writers, and the guests. I guess you didn't talk to at all any artists or writers.
No, I was just really there for the guests. Only because I was kind of seeing who was going to be there. I didn't really go too much to the artists or writers.
Okay. So I'll just speak on them generally pretty quickly here, and then we can go into more of the guests, the celebrity guests. So the artists and writers, they have the artist alley, and it is obviously a lot of artists, but kind of scattered throughout these artists, and I don't know how they have them organized, because I thought maybe it was organized at one point, but then
alphabetically.
It was not alphabetically.
Oh, the aisles had like lettering.
So that they had that, but they weren't actually.
Oh, okay. I was curious.
I wasn't sure.
Okay.
Rose Besh was across from Lee Garbett and Stephanie Phillips, so I'm not really sure.
Oh yeah, that's weird.
I'm not really sure.
Okay.
Maybe they were, and I was just. I'm not sure. Anyway, I've seen a decent amount of artists. I would say they were generally pretty cool. The first one I saw was Rose Bash. We kind of chatted, just like we didn't even really chat that much. I was a little nervous, I guess, but also just it was like very kind of like snappy and trying to like kind of push through, which is kind of unfortunate. But when you have a line, you kind of have to.
And that area is kind of tucked in the back too.
Yeah,
there's not as much standing space that you can see.
I talked to Stephanie Phillips and Lee Garbett, so they're the ones who are writing the new Daredevil. Daredevil 1 was released last Wednesday, and they shared a table. They were very nice. I didn't speak to Lee really at all, because he kind of took the comics, signed them, and then handed them off to Stephanie. Now she has a TikTok that she's pretty up on, that she keeps up on, and some of her content revolves around 40K miniatures, where she shows, this is Warhammer 40,000, where she shows just like the miniature that she recently painted. So I just kind of made a comment about that, and we kind of got into a discussion about that, and it was kind of nice to just have a conversation. Not that they thought they were like, huge celebrities or anything like that, where we could just like talk about, you know, some other nerd thing. I basically just asked if she played because I knew she painted from her videos, and she was like, "No, I don't play. I'm just paint because I like how they look." And that was cool. And then she told me what she was currently painting, and I told her what I was playing. That was kind of that conversation. Jenny Frisian, I talked to very quickly. And I don't mean this negatively because I also can have this, but she has like one of those resting bitch faces where it's like you go up to her and like you kind of talk to her, but it's just like kind of doesn't come off as super personable. And maybe if I would have said more, she would have, you know, been less reserved. But it's not a negative on her because I'm kind of the same.
There were a lot of people there. So I could see you being like overwhelmed by just like the sheer amount of people because I was.
And then I stopped and I knew that this person was going to be there. I don't know their name offhand, so I apologize for that. But they are an artist for the comics and books for My Little Pony. And my daughter is super into My Little Pony, so we went and saw them. Them I didn't care for that much, and if we know their name, we could call them out. That's fine. I'm all about being straightforward. But it was just like I had a little girl there, you know, and we were seeing, and I was kind of trying to, you know, she's 6. She just turned 6, so she's kind of like trying to figure out kind of what this was, and like she wasn't really understanding the pictures in the comics. And in the books, so I was trying to, you know, tell my daughter about how exactly what it was that this woman did, but then she was sitting there, and I could see this for any of the artists, and I would just shy away from this, and it was someone brought something over for them to draw a picture on, so they were spending a lot of time drawing that picture. So instead of drawing the picture and then kind of stopping drawing the picture to interact with a new fan, they just kept drawing the picture. We had, we bought something from their booth to get signed, and they kind of like signed it, but like kind of like signed it, gave it back to the handler, and then they gave it back to us. So they didn't really interact with us that much. She like maybe mentioned something like, "Oh, hi," you know, type deal. But it was kind of like disheartening, especially for someone who's...
It's a bit cold.
Yeah, well, for any, and you know,
and you have a young fan in front of you.
Yeah,
too.
your fan base is all, and hopefully predominantly young children. You know, you're writing My Little Pony. You know what I'm talking about. I'm not going to go there. But you know, so that was a little disheartening just to see that. But generally, it seemed like most of the people were, you know, pretty easy to talk to, pretty nice. But we can go into the celebrities.
You didn't want to talk about the other comic you got and the other artist you met?
Who?
We got the hot sauce comic.
Oh my god. Oh my goodness. We got these hot sauces that are like, they had some that were just like kind of regular hot sauces, and then they had some hot sauces that were comic books. And they like drew these comic books or like had these comic books. It was kind of cool.
Did they make the comic book first and then base the hot sauces on the comic book? I never got that straight. Or did they make the hot sauces first and then just drew a comic book that had the hot sauces in it?
Unsure. It was
okay.
It was unclear. It was
so bizarre. It was like the weirdest thing I found there on day one. And I'm just like, I'm going to come back here and buy these because it was just super weird. You got a set. I got a set too. I've cracked into mine. Have you had yours at all?
No, because I mean to take a video of them for another project, but I haven't been able to do
They are surprisingly good. Holy
yeah.
I was very pleasantly surprised with how amazing they were.
I will have to crack into those pretty soon.
Okay. Yeah, the hot honey one. I don't know if the hot sauce people are out there listening. Hot honey one is amazing. I was even putting it on tacos. Oh my god, it's really good on tacos. Oh, sorry, professional celebrities.
No, that was cool. I totally forgot about those too. That was someone in Chicago, and they linked up with someone in Wisconsin too, so that was kind of cool. But yeah, so we had plenty of celebrity guests. We had a range of celebrity guests, all different kinds of things. And I mean, we had Charlie Cox, Elizabeth Olsen, Susan Sarandon was there.
Yeah. if you were in the MCU, you were probably there. Except for I was really sad. Who's the guy from Manitowoc, Wisconsin, from Marvel's Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D.?
He's not actually from Manitowoc, but Clark
Yeah,
Gregg.
yeah, Clark Gregg.
Yeah.
He was supposed to be there.
Agent
but he
Coulson.
got canceled.
Yeah. He didn't get canceled.
Or he didn't get canceled.
He canceled.
He canceled. He's doing some project, and I think he said London, and he couldn't make it over. Which I was gonna talk to him and be like, "Hey, I'm from Manitowoc." Just as a fun conversation starter. But
So you got you got one photo?
Two
You got
photos.
2 photos and 1 autograph.
Yes.
And I got 3 photos. So if you want to go ahead with the people you met and kind of those experiences.
I got to meet Elizabeth Olsen. I was very excited to meet her. Just to address the viral photo that is out there where she's holding like Dr. Doom's head and she looks very apathetic to the situation. She was not in a bad mood. She's not a beat person. She was very sick when she was doing all the photo ops and the autographs. Even in this photo, you can kind of tell that she's not feeling very well. Like she tried to make it seem like she was like holding our backs, but without touching us, out of just trying to be respectful.
Sure.
She is literally the nicest person I have ever met. So for everyone who saw the viral photo is like, wow, she's probably really mean in person. She wasn't. She was just very ill. Super nice. I got Manning Hex signed. I was super excited about that. And then my other one was Christopher Eccleston, Doctor Who. One of them anyways. Also super nice, very kind, immediately complimented my husband's cardigan. So yeah, I was a little worried at first because ours were just 2 hours or an hour and a half apart. But these went through so quickly, except for the autographs.
The autograph line seemed crazy. Yeah. And then another thing I want to bring up just before we keep going is the price on some of these was a lot of money to buku bucks. And I'm talking a lot of money, like $80 to $100, which it's not like a lot of money, but just to take a picture is kind
Elizabeth Olsen was $250.
That's the buku bucks. She was the most expensive. I think she was $100 more than anyone else.
Yeah.
Because I got the second most expensive person.
Charlie Cox?
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, that makes sense.
So we did take photos as a family.
Wait, cool. Yeah, your photos turned out so adorable.
So first we meet with Mike Coulter, who last minute goes there. Now, Mike Coulter is going to appear in Daredevil. I'm calling it right now. Okay. We've seen these supposed rumor photos. Spoiler, I guess, maybe. But we've seen these supposed set photos where he and Finn Jones are on
in
set.
the trench coats. Yeah.
Okay. But before C2E2, he did an interview, like an hour-long interview. It's on YouTube. You can go find it now. And it was like 2 weeks before C2E2. A little suspicious. Then you show up at C2E2 where some of the other Defenders are showing up and you're taking Defender team photos. Highly suspicious. You're in. So you know for sure. I meant to ask him. I was a little starstruck because I actually like Mike Coulter quite a bit. I'm not only seeing Luke Cage, but I've seen Evil in a couple of other projects he's in. He's also in Men in Black 3. So I got a little starstruck seeing him. So I didn't get to ask him if he was in Daredevil. Oh, I will come back to that in a minute. We saw Kristen Ritter. She was cool. She seemed like she did not want to be there. She was nice enough to smile and still like embrace us in her photo. But she seemed like she wasn't excited to be there. And I don't know if she was putting on an act because of her character. And she was like trying to just give that as a delivery.
Like a vibe.
But also she just was like, can we go faster? But I think she had to do the Daredevil photo op, the Defender photo op, and then her own photo op back to back to back. So she was probably doing that for 3 to 4 hours.
She knows how to pose for a photo. I'll give her that. Although, holy man, she's tall.
Well, she is wearing heels.
Oh,
but,
okay.
But
okay.
she is generally a little bit taller, I think, than I am. And then the man, the myth, the legend, right? We see Charlie Cox, and he was super cool. Everyone enjoyed my son's outfit too. especially Charlie and Mike. But they complimented his outfit. They kind of just embraced us. It was really nice. And we talked to him. And then just before I left, I asked him if he was a Spider-Man. And he said, no, I promise I'm not.
See, no, he has to say that.
He does have to say that. And my thing is like, why didn't he just say, no, I'm not? The way he said it is like,
It's
no,
suspicious.
I'm not. I promise I'm not. And also there was people sitting there, and I don't know if they were just his handlers or like his agent or something like that was there. You know, I didn't see anyone like that for Kristen or Mike. But maybe it was just because, you know, not that, I don't want to say Charlie Cox is a bigger deal. Currently, I would say he is a bigger deal as far as celebrities.
Season that's presently airing. Too.
Yeah. He was a guest of honor as well, compared to everyone else just being guest. Elizabeth Olsen and him were the guests of honor. But yeah, he said it. And I'm thinking he is. Also, he's got this beard right now. And he just got finished shooting season 3. Are we going to get bearded Daredevil? Because I love bearded Daredevil.
Okay.
I don't know if you've ever seen the comics where he's got the beard.
No, I feel really stupid because I actually thought he was blind. The convention was the first time I learned, no, he can see. And I'm like, oh, okay. He does really good at like acting like he's a blind person.
He does do very well. And then my wife also didn't know that he is English.
Oh, okay. Yeah, the accent would have thrown me.
Oh, you didn't know he was English either?
No, I didn't.
Oh, yeah. He's English. So he started, he talked to us just like briefly. He was talking to my son about his outfit. And yeah, the accent was, it was
like
there,
that,
obviously.
Tom Holland interview where the guy trolls him. And he's like, why are you pretending to be British?
I love that. I love that video. But it was cool. Was it worth it? I think, you know, overall, I think it was. You have to, you know, look at the cost of how much you're spending. Obviously, I just did 3 photos and I just talked about how much they were, kind of generally, but it cost a decent amount of money, but that's something me and at least those members of my family will have forever. You know, they're kind of a big deal right now. And the Defenders were something that, the original Defenders was something that was personal to me when it was actually happening on TV. And I was able to watch it. I lived by myself, and that was a lot of TV that I was watching, so it was very nice.
Nice.
And especially to get them, you know, Finn Jones really would have nailed it. But to at least get these 3, you know, it was very nice. Mike Coulter was a last-minute add-on. But like I said, I've seen him in more than just him being Luke Cage. So that one was specifically important for us to do.
I did like the setup though, because like I just got the basic package. I assume you did too, but it comes with an actual like high quality print right then and there that you get.
Yeah.
And then you also get the JPEG, which was kind of nice.
Yeah. You had to pay for the JPEG, I think.
Oh, did I?
Yes.
Oh, because they email it to you.
Yeah.
Or did you not get an email?
No, I did. No,
Okay.
I did the add-on for each one. Yeah. You definitely want the high quality JPEG. If you're going to do it, definitely get the high quality JPEG, because then you can post it on social media and you have it just that way. And it was a lot easier just to have in general to be posting it other than taking the picture, you know. And of course, right across from where they're taking the picture, they have the stand where they sell these.
I missed that. If you didn't notice, I didn't have those, so I'll be stopping at a store to pick up a frame.
Yeah. I figure I'll put them in frames eventually, but I wanted at least to protect them. So
I liked your My Little Pony picture on the back. Did you get that from?
That's
Oh, that's the one.
That's the one that got signed. So.
Oh, nice.
Sure. Yeah. It's just a little postcard, basically. I forgot that I put that in there actually to keep it protected as well. Yeah. So the celebrities were kind of a big deal. They had a lot of panels through the day. But let's move on to the panels and events. Probably closing in on where we want to end as far as time goes for the show. So let's talk about the panels real quick. Neither one of us saw panels.
I couldn't get there because there were too many people and it was between my photographs, so there just wasn't enough time to like jump in line to go to the panels. So I would definitely say for my next year, I'll probably better time manage so that I can actually attend a few.
Yeah, and I brought my little one, so that would have been a little hard to just sit in on an hour-long panel with them, especially something as boring as CGC grading, which was on my list of things to see. But none of the rest of my family wanted to see that. So you kind of work around that. I would say a lot of the cool panels were on the main stage. So if you think, very Comic-Con panels that you see like in, and this isn't the Kevin Feige reveals, this isn't D23, but if you've seen these videos online where there's big crowds and it's a big panel, that's basically what it was. As far as the main stage panels, there was smaller panels. I don't know if you've seen those rooms.
Yeah, I did.
Okay, yeah. So they had smaller ones that were maybe like seated like maybe like 50 to 80 people, I'll say. I don't think we were fitting 100 people in some of those rooms. But that's where like the CGC grading and like.
I kind of wanted to go to one of the cosplay panels just to see like if they had any tips or tricks on costuming. Yeah, because there's really cool costumes. Oh, that was my favorite thing about taking pictures. Yeah, is you get to take pictures. I even took a video of like a ton of stormtroopers just like marching through. Like it was really cool.
Well, we're gonna end on was it worth it? But let's first let's talk about the thing that we haven't talked about at all, and that is the cosplay. So I don't want to discredit the cosplay because I think that's one of the biggest things, right? Is the cosplay was crazy.
You could definitely tell people spend their entire year planning which costumes. I actually even like C2E2 hands out like a little digital like photo card as what are you going to be cosplaying on Friday, Saturday, and Sunday.
Oh yeah.
And then you can like put in your character in there, and I thought that was really cool. Like the con is very cosplay forward.
Oh, very nice.
And yeah, definitely a lot of people. I can never remember what they're called. What is it? The 401st?
501st?
500.
Oh, wait.
The stormtroopers, like the fantasy kids.
Yeah, the 501st.
They actually had like a booth set up. Like you could get pictures with them. It was really cool.
And then there was also a Halo one. I don't know the Halo division.
Oh, okay. Yeah, I saw them too.
Yeah, the 501st is the Star Wars division. Yeah. And then there's a Halo division that also had their own booths for the cosplayers. Those were some, I don't even know what those costumes were made out of, but those were crazy costumes. There was a lot of costumes that were, I would say 50 to even 60% of the people attending were in costume. I would say almost 50, probably 50%, if not more.
It definitely more so on Saturday too.
Yeah, for sure.
Like Saturday was the big cosplay day. Like test out your costume, I guess, on Friday. I don't know. I would have maybe planned next year. I might do 2 costumes. I don't think I'm going to do 3 costumes. Sure. Because I like having Sunday to not go to the convention, do other things in Chicago. But yeah, next year I would definitely be interested in cosplaying, just having it better planned out.
Yeah. There were so many crazy costumes, and some of the costumes were like really thought out and clearly had planned. And I don't know if they designed them themselves or if they were like manufactured, because some of them were just like crazy good. And then there was some that were like clearly like just like homegrown. Like there was a guy who was dressed up as Daredevil. So my biggest example is 2 Daredevils that I've seen. Both of them great costumes, but one was clearly like either a manufactured costume or I don't know which engineering shit you have in your house, but it was like
too perfect.
Yeah, it was like almost like I had a double take when I saw him originally, because I was just Daredevil actually walking around for a moment.
As Daredevil.
Yeah. Well, then I looked at his face and I was like, okay, he's not actually Daredevil, but damn near he was wearing a perfect like mock-up costume. But then I also seen someone who did, and I don't want to downplay it as being easier, but something is like where he just went as like episode 1 or 2 of the Netflix Daredevil run, where it's just like,
where
he wearing his like all black. Okay. They would just have like the ropes around the hands, and I was just like, that is also like equally amazing. Like it was, and they
still very valid.
Yeah.
I was surprised at the variety of cosplay. So you go to a comic convention and you're expecting to see like superheroes and comics and that sort of thing. But like Dungeon Crawler Carl, I saw cosplay all over the place of Dungeon Crawler Carl. I was so excited because once I found where you can get cocktails there, I got a Dirty Shirley, so then I had to get a picture taken with Dungeon Crawler Carl. And like they were all really nice. I mean, I always ask before like coming over, like, hey, can I take a picture with you? And everyone was so happy to get a picture taken.
Yeah, I think, and they do have signs that say like cosplay is not consent, but a lot of the people, I think, if they're cosplaying, they obviously are okay with taking having their picture taken. Obviously, always still ask, but a lot of people, that's what they're there for. They're like, they want to show off what they've made and what they've designed. One of my favorites, and again, not to downplay the effort, but it was like so easy to put together that I never even thought of, was like I'll say a mom, and gonna say it was her son or a very young partner, was dressed as Linda and Bob, and then had three other younger kids with them. They were just as all the kids, so it's just like a family that was just dressed as the Bob's Burgers family. And I was like,
That's
got it.
beautiful. I did like they also had a Steve from Blue's Clues, and they had a service animal that they actually had colored blue.
Yes.
It was just beautiful.
Oh yeah, that was perfect.
I sadly didn't get a photo of that, unfortunately.
That would have been cool. I don't know if they would have allowed that. That's like one that I probably just wouldn't have asked anyway, because
Because of the Sims.
because of the service animal.
Yeah,
I don't want to put them into a weird position or anything like that. I'm sure they got asked a million times anyway, but that's just me. But let's wrap it up here, and let's just let's just see, was it worth it? The cost versus the experience. You talked already about going again, so clearly you're gonna go.
Oh yeah, I liked that. It was totally worth it for me. I just, now that I've gotten like thrown in the mud per se, of just like getting used to like how it's structured, where everything is.
Yeah.
I would definitely go again now that I know how to like better navigate it myself.
Yeah. Yeah, and that was my thing too. I was kind of worried about setting up all the expectations that I had originally and then nailing them. And I would say overall, personally, I think I did pretty well. Just compared to what I was looking to do. I missed out on a couple of signatures, but there was only so much
There's
line standing I could do. So it was it worth it? Yes. I had a great time. I'm actually looking for a trip just for me and my brothers to go on now at this point. Not to C2E2, but to a different. We're
Like
going
an
to go
actual Comic-Con? Like
well, maybe in the future I would do one of those. Those are, I feel like I already tried to look at San Diego or New York, one of the really big ones, and they're sold out already, and they don't even happen until, I don't know, like in the fall or something like that. But there's these fan expos that they have.
Oh, okay.
It's like a con that happens in different cities. And there is one in Chicago happening in August. So I think we're going to go to that because it's the 25th year of Lord of the Rings, and we're all Lord of the Rings fans. I got a big-ass sword on the wall over there from Lord of the Rings. So I think we're going to try to do that. That's in August. I'm pretty excited for that. So I got the con bug. So I'm looking to maybe hit up one or two of these big cons a year.
And then they need an overtime so that you can afford one or two.
Yeah. The cost is quite up there. You could probably safely, not counting the travel and hotel, get away with probably like $1,000 and
and you'd be comfortable.
Yeah, you'd be satisfied. You'd be able to eat. Buy some stuff that you would want. And even that, it could even include the ticket. I think it was $140, $160, $180 or something like that for a 3-day, which isn't
It's not too terrible.
too terrible.
Yeah.
All things considered. One other thing is there anyone who should go or shouldn't go? I can't think of anyone who shouldn't go. Maybe if you're don't like crowds, don't go because it's super crowded. But I think anyone that's into basically anything in pop culture.
Yeah, it's totally worth it.
Yeah, they had the celebrities were all over the place. I forgot to mention we had Steve from Blue's Clues there, all the way up to Elizabeth Olsen. She had a whole Scarlet Witch panel, and then basically everything in between. There's a Ghostbusters section in the kids area, then a Lego area in the kids area.
Yeah, they had tattoo artists.
A tattoo artist, tattoo
Which I did want to get a tattoo, but they were busy like all the time, and it was pretty insane. Yeah. Like you have to, if you're gonna get a tattoo, pre-register for it.
Pre-book it for sure.
Because that was nuts.
Any last comments?
I will say that if you are going to go to a convention like that and it's in a city that you're not accustomed to, try to condense your stay down to 2 of the 3 days so that you can use the last day to either wrap up any purchases that you need to get or go explore the city that you're in.
Yeah.
Like we went to Shed, which was a lot of fun. And it was just kind of neat because Chicago has so many museums that you can go to, and I was kind of happy for that. Then we are a little further away too, so leaving Chicago is just a little bit easier.
Yeah. I would say that for any con you go to. You know, I go to these Pokemon tournaments, and usually I end up flying in Friday, registering and hanging out at the convention, play all day Saturday. Theoretically, if you do good enough on Saturday, you play again on Sunday. Otherwise, you just end up back at the convention hall on Sunday. But with this, you know, it's like you got to take that day off, and I liked it a lot better than going to these Pokemon tournaments just because of that. Obviously, it's a lot different. Obviously, yeah, a lot bigger. But you know, in general, like you said, you know, take that extra day so that you can go explore the city you're in, whether it's Chicago, San Diego, New York, wherever the con is. Go and explore the city, unless it's in the middle of nowhere. But usually they don't do that. Usually these cons are in.
And then take the next day off.
Take the next day off. Okay. Where am I at? Take the next day off. I went to work and I almost worked a 12-hour shift the next day. Not recommended. Bad thing to do. I probably walked in total, I don't know.
Oh, I actually kept track. So my glasses keep track of how many steps I do. Friday, we had 24,000 steps, and we were moving a lot less than you. Saturday, we hit 27,000 steps, and we were there until, I want to say, like 7 o'clock at night.
Yeah.
And we got there right at open, so we were there from like 10 to 7. And then Sunday was a lot less. It was only like 15,000 steps, but that's because we went through a museum.
Yeah. Yeah, Friday I probably did like 150% of that.
Oh, yeah.
And just I'm guessing.
You walk fast, too. I was actually watching you. I was like, holy shit. Because, like, when we first ran into you, when you asked us to hold your stuff, I was just like, you walk so quickly. I'm just like, I don't know if it was just Nick and I just being old.
No, I do walk fast.
Okay, I was just like, he is just cruising around.
I purposely walk fast.
Okay.
It's a thing. I don't like being in between my destination.
Oh, see, yeah.
So
I like to just watch. So Nick and I were slower paced.
That's fair. All right. Any closing thoughts on it?
If you're interested in doing it, just do it. It's a fun experience. That's usually what I like to spend my money on is experiences. So it's cool to meet people, to see strange things that you'll just never see like where you normally are. So I would recommend if you're even slightly gauging it, just go ahead and pull the trigger.
Yeah. Even if you can only do the day, you know,
yeah.
We went into, you know, we had a 3-day pass type situation. But even if you go in on Friday, stay overnight, and then get, you know, do the thing on Saturday, or even just, you know, we have about I'll just say generally like a 3-hour drive. Even if you left super early on Saturday and just did the day, it worth it just to hang out, have the experience, and kind of check it out. You know, we don't have a lot of cons and stuff like that over here in the Midwest. So this is really our big, like I said, it's basically Midwest Comic Con. So it's really our big con to check out, to avoid flying at least.
Yeah, that's true. It's nice.
Yeah. Well, that's gonna be it for us today. Thanks for hanging out. Don't forget to like, subscribe. In the comments, you know, you can ask any questions. I can try to answer from what I saw. If you went to C2E2, what was your favorite part? What did you check out? Who was your favorite artist or person that you met? That's gonna be it for us today. Have a good game.